Hello everyone, JDev, creator of the JDev Entertainment Network, has returned once again to be precisely what you want, which of course would be more of me because I'm in such high demand, especially with this coronavirus crap. And I'm quite frankly all you're going to need, giving you guys and gals another Ozark Season 1 episode recap video. But before I do that, it's very important if you're not caught up with where I am recapping Ozark, so make sure you pay attention to the episode title that's in the description. And if that's the case, I strongly recommend that you just don't watch this video to avoid any forthcoming spoilers. And for the rest of you, make sure, there's a few things you need to do. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, share it to anybody that would like Ozark. Leave a comment with your thoughts on the overall score of the episode or anything Ozark related, and go ahead and hit that sub button, be a subscriber of this channel. All those things help out the channel, and it is greatly appreciated. So, we have Ozark Season number 1, Episode number 2. The title of this particular episode is called The Blue Cat, and we start off with everybody having breakfast, and Charlotte is upset that they're staying at a really, really cheap motel, and she would rather be at the Marriott, and she has to be reminded that they have to watch what they're spending. And then Marty and Wendy decide that they're going to go house hunting, essentially, and that the kids need to watch the hotel room like a hawk because all their valuables and all their possessions are in that hotel room. So Marty's going to drop Wendy off at a realtor's office, and then before she does that, they have an argument, pertaining to the Gary guy that she was sleeping with and making the videos with. Well, she wasn't making videos with him; it was just a video that the PI had, and they argue back and forth about that, and then he complains to her about the money that she withdrew from the bank account. And then at the very end of it, Marty's like, you know what? The only good thing that comes out of this is the fact that I get. It makes him feel better at the end that Gary went flying down, smashing to the ground, dead. And Wendy is furious, slaps him, but then that's not enough. She hits him right in the lip, right there. So that was interesting. Wendy then enters the realtor's office and finds one employee, and he's at his cubicle with his shoes off, his socks and shoes off, with peanut butter on them, having a dog lick them. Very kinky. And then we see by the pool, Charlotte sees a housekeeper approach the room, and she tells her that there's no need for services right now. They're good. Just leave the towels by the door. So that she's doing her job. That's what she was supposed to do. Marty goes to the registrar's office, just looking through different titles and different tax things and different things like that. The woman that's helping him out seems like she's kind of a racist because she says colored folks to describe the guests on an Oprah taping, and she notices Marty's lip and recommends that he put some ice on it, obviously. Then Marty found a self-storage place where the owner is delinquent on his property taxes, so he offers to rent a storage shed for whatever he needs, and then the guy doubles the price, and Marty's like, fine. Then he tries to talk him into more things that he could invest in, and the guy's like, no, he doesn't want that. Now he has Marty as a paying client. He refuses Marty's investment offers. Then the next day, Marty meets with a lake tour boat operator and then a hardware store person. Wendy looks at houses with cockroaches and leaking ceilings. The teenage custodian of a motel, Wyatt, invites Charlotte wakeboarding with his cousin 3. Jonah reminds her of their job, but she scuffs that, only have 3 iPods and Pandora bracelet, and runs off with Wyatt and 3. Marty then talks to an owner of a gentleman's club, but the man timidly recognizes that Marty is trying to use his business to launder money. He declines. Then the realtor shows Wendy a lakefront home. The current owner, dragging an oxygen tank, is working on his car next to the house. The realtor tells Wendy the house is under her price range, and this is a really nice house. And she's like, what? Marty is sitting by the lake eating lunch. He gets up, tosses half of it in the lake, and watches it as it falls into the lake. Wyatt, Charlotte, and 3 set off. Wyatt says his father, a Kansas City lawyer, is not happy with his choice of journalism major at Missoula. Jonah, bored of watching TV in the room, packs up the family's computers in a backpack and leaves the room. The owner of the lakefront home, Buddy, explains that he will live in the finished basement while the family can have the rest of the house. He has heart issues and actually calls his cardiologist a dothead and has a year or 18 months approximately to live because he wants to stay in the house until he dies, and he has priced the house low because of the unusual condition. He asks about the children, and when Wendy tells him Charlotte is 15, he worries since he has a septic tank instead of sewer lines. Her period plugs will clog up the system. This Buddy character already is my favorite character. 2 episodes into this series, and he already is hilarious. Wendy appears to be offended, but backs off. After they leave, Wendy comes back and asks Buddy if he had indeed said he has a year left. And Buddy's like, "Oh, who knows? You never know." Then Jonah is at an arcade. Charlotte is having a good time in the lake until a state trooper lights them up. Wyatt rushes to get Charlotte a life vest as she realizes that this is not his boat and that the story about his father in college was a lie. He throws her off the boat, and a trooper breaks off the chase to rescue her. Jonah walks through town to the lake and sees a developmentally disabled boy fishing. Jonah says hello, and the boy says his name is Tuck and gives him a pocket knife. Okay, so Jonah's made a friend. Marty and Wendy go to the sheriff's office. They're mad that they're really throwing the law down at Charlotte when she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't know the boat was stolen. And then they ask the sheriff about the people that took it. And he's like, "Oh, the Langmores? Yeah, they're trailer trash." And you've got Wyatt, you've got 3. And then they said the worst one of all, though, is Ruth. And then they show a picture of Ruth, and it's the chick that was going by the room wanting to put towels in it. And they're like, "Fuck." So they go back to the room. Jonah's there. Marty notices the room has been cleaned, but Jonah says he cleaned it. Marty notices the pocket knife, I should say. And Jonah says he went on a short walk and a friend gave it to him. Marty looks under the bed and pulls on one of the duffel bags and the rolling suitcase. The rolling suitcase is light. He pulls it out. Wendy urges the kids out of the room. Alone, Marty opens the suitcase, and there's only one bundle of cash inside. So, like, literally one thing of cash, and there should have been, I don't know how many of them, a lot. Charlotte returns to the room and says she knows where Ruth and the Langmores might have gone, but she doesn't know how to get there. Later, Marty calls the sheriff, and he tells him Ruth lives with her uncle Russ and Boyd. They have not been seen since the morning. Marty is at a hardware store purchasing fishing equipment, 2 large rolling ice chests, and ice. He's at a dock renting a motorboat and then pays a fisherman $100 for some catfish. He on his line. He loads the boat and studies a map and heads to the other side of the lake. He actually finds out where everybody's hiding at. Ruth, Boyd, and Russ are all inside a trailer. And he eventually gets them to give him most of the money back because he's like, "You know what? This is not my money. This is a kingpin, Navarro, and his henchman Dell, or something like that." A lot of weird stuff going on there. And they threaten to kill Marty, and he's like, "Yeah, whatever. You're not going to do that. And you can't even spend this money anyway. All you can do is get groceries and gasoline with it. That's about all it's good for right now." And then Marty asks who the weakling in the family is, and who has a big mouth, who drinks too much, and who will spend the share too fast. He says unless they're willing to kill Marty, there's death penalty in the state. And then 3 apologize to Marty about Charlotte, but Marty says not good enough. Boyd says they'll just take 100 G's, but Marty says that Navarro will come for it. Russ decides they'll take $20K for their trouble and dashed expenses. Marty says that they will have to deal with the consequences. Russ and Boyd leave. Ruth tells Marty she has almost got it done, and she has a feeling they both know he'd be better off dead. It is now dark, and Marty reels the ice chests to the woods and shores, and he puts a bunch of money in the shed that he gets. The FBI are swarming over Hanson trunking. A tech hands Agent Petty what appears to be a descended jawbone. Petty is working out. He says he's going to move to Missouri because he wants to get a break in this case. And then So Marty then tells Wendy the only way out of all this is if he commits suicide, essentially. So what he's going to do is he's going to die, then she can email Dell, and Dell will back off because there's no point. And he says, call the sheriff, tell them I went for a hike, and I was going to go at this place, and I don't really know my way around. He's like, wait an hour and then do that. So Wendy's in the bathroom about to send an email and call the sheriff. Marty decides to call his private investigator and ask about the situation. And he's like, well, I mean, it really wouldn't work. I mean, they're going to ask a lot of questions, and it's going to take forever. Like, forever, and I don't even know if you'll get away. So then Marty decides not to do that. He comes back, and Wendy seems relieved that he's back, although she kind of goes back in the bathroom and shuts the door. She's probably pissed, too, that he put her in that situation. So Wendy locked herself in the bathroom and has made a call to the sheriff and is she was finishing the email to Devin. That's when Marty came back in the room. And then Marty decides to go to the Blue Cat. There's signs outside are fading. The gas pump's mess. The place is a mess, but the owner won't do anything with him. She won't sell anything. She won't do anything. She just knows her only thing. And then he was about to leave, and then he goes back in, and these two guys are at the bar picking on Tuck, the guy that gave, he's kind of a guy that gave Jonah the pocket knife. They're calling him the biggest retard because he's obviously special needs. And Marty gets mad about it and says that you can't do that. You can't say that stuff. I mean, I tell my kids that, and they know, and you've got 20 years on them. And it got to the point where they knocked Marty out. And then the owner's like, what the fuck is this guy up to? And then the end of the episode is the Wendy and the kids take a taxi to the lakefront home. Charlotte notices Buddy looking at them from the front upstairs window and asks who he is. Wendy explains that he'll be living in the basement for a year or two, give or take. Charlotte demands to know what they are doing, and then Wendy just says, your dad's laundering money for the Mexican drug cartel. And that's how the episode ends. So it was actually really good. It was okay. There's some developments. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Really enjoying it. Make sure you leave your comments with your thought and your overall score. And of course, JDab will be back again soon with another piece.